The wind stirred the leaves as disciples gathered near the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree. Ananda sat closest, his face troubled. "Ananda," the Buddha said, his voice calm and resonant, "look at the ripples on the lotus pond before us." Ananda gazed at the pond, observing the way the ripples spread outward from a single point of disturbance. "These ripples," the Buddha continued, "are the echoes of our actions, extending far beyond the moment they are made." Ananda nodded in understanding, his heart opening to the wisdom that would soon unfold from his teacher's words. "Retirement," the Buddha said, "is like the stillness of the lotus pond before the pebble falls into its depths. It is a phase of life where the external rush ceases. Yet the potential for wisdom remains vast," he explained. "In this stage, many fear the loss of purpose, as if the still waters have become lifeless and stagnant," he said. "But still waters hold depths unseen, reflections undistorted, and space for tranquility unmatched by the rushing current," the Buddha shared. He picked up a lotus flower from the pond, its petals delicate yet vibrant in the soft glow of morning light. "This flower," the Buddha said, "blooms in calm waters, nourished by the roots beneath it that are unseen but essential. When the flower ceases to bloom, its essence nourishes the pond, ensuring future blossoms rise from the stillness," he said. "So it is in retirement, when life turns inward, but its influence outward remains profoundly impactful," the Buddha explained. He placed the lotus gently back into the water, the ripples spreading softly from its point of contact. "Ananda, a retired life is not an end but a transformation of purpose into wisdom shared with others," the Buddha said. "The accumulated knowledge and experience of years become the roots that nurture. Even as external blooms fade," he continued, "observe the roots of the lotus in the pond," the Buddha instructed, pointing to the intricate network beneath the surface. "The roots are unseen, but they bind the lotus to its source, providing sustenance and anchoring its existence," he explained. "So too must one in retirement draw from their roots wisdom, compassion, and strength, to create ripples in the lives of others," he said. "The ripples may begin small, yet they extend outward, touching every corner of the pond with their gentle presence," the Buddha taught. The disciples listened attentively, their hearts resonating with the image of the lotus and its ripple upon the water's surface. "Ananda," the Buddha said, turning his gaze to his disciple, "do you fear the stillness that follows a bustling life?" "Blessed one," Ananda replied, "I have wondered if life beyond action can still carry meaning, as ripples without the pebble." The Buddha nodded, his eyes soft with understanding, and said, "Life's meaning does not end with action but shifts into reflection. Reflection is the light upon the still water, allowing the depths to reveal truths unseen in the rush of currents," he said. "When the world is no longer asking for your action, it is time to offer your wisdom as a gift," he added. "Many seek to define themselves by action, forgetting that stillness holds the power to nurture future movements," the Buddha shared. "Consider the pond, which holds no rushing water yet nourishes countless lotus flowers upon its tranquil surface," he said. "So too can one in retirement become a source of calm guidance for those still caught in the rush." He explained, "Be like the lotus," the Buddha said, "whose bloom fades yet whose roots remain steadfast, enriching the waters around it. Each ripple begins from the center, but it touches the edges of the pond, bringing movement even to still waters," he said. "In the quiet of retirement, let your wisdom create ripples that stretch far and wide, nourishing those they encounter," the Buddha advised. "The tranquility of the pond is not lifeless but holds the promise of renewal and transformation within its depths," he taught. "Ananda, remember this lotus and the ripple upon the pond whenever you doubt the purpose of stillness in life," he said. "You will find peace in knowing that still waters carry profound possibilities for growth unseen to The hurried eye, he added. The disciples bowed their heads in gratitude, feeling the serenity of the Buddha's words settle into their hearts and minds. The sun continued to rise, its rays dancing upon the surface of the lotus pond, casting reflections of light and shadow. The Buddha sat quietly, his presence like the calm waters themselves, steady and nurturing all who sought his wisdom. The ripple on the lotus pond extended further than the eye could see, carrying the teachings of the Buddha with it. The disciples remained seated under the Bodhi tree, their minds reflecting the stillness and depth of the lessons they had learned. The quiet groves of Jetavana seemed to hum with the resonance of Buddha's timeless wisdom. That morning, Buddha's voice fell silent, yet his presence radiated the peace and compassion his disciples sought so deeply. The lesson of the ripple upon the pond would remain in the disciples' hearts, guiding them in their own lives and beyond. Ananda found peace in the image of the still lotus pond, carrying it as a reminder of life's subtle power within stillness. The Buddha rose from his place beneath the Bodhi tree, his eyes soft with compassion, leaving his disciples in silent contemplation. The ripple upon the lotus pond continued to echo, touching every corner. As the teachings of the Buddha touched each heart, an elder disciple, known for his wisdom, asked about the power of silence. Buddha turned toward him and answered, "Silence is the canvas where thoughts paint wisdom." The disciples gathered around him, their hearts eager for the wisdom that only the Blessed One could impart. A carpenter named Chanda arrived, his shoulders heavy with the weight of sorrow and his spirit dimmed with doubt. "Blessed One," Chanda began, his voice trembling, "I spent my life creating, but now my hands are frail and purposeless." The Buddha regarded him with compassion, his eyes steady and serene, radiating the warmth of understanding and timeless truth. "Chanda," the Buddha said, gesturing to a worn chisel near his seat, "tell me, does this tool no longer carry value?" Chanda hesitated, studying the tool, its edges dulled by time but still retaining the form that shaped countless creations. "It may teach an apprentice or inspire new designs, though it no longer carves as it once did," Chanda replied. The Buddha smiled gently, his gaze unwavering, and said, "You have seen the truth. What is worn still holds purpose. A tool's value does not end when its function changes. It transforms into a guide for others," the Buddha explained. "In retirement, your wisdom becomes the tool, and your experience the guiding hand that shapes new minds," he continued. "Your hands may no longer carve, but your words and teachings can craft lives just as beautifully," the Buddha said. Chanda listened closely, feeling the weight of his sorrow lifting as he understood the meaning of transformation in purpose. The Buddha held the chisel, turning it in his hands, and said, "Observe the marks and wear upon this tool. These marks tell a story of labor, creation, and effort, much like the lines upon your face and hands," he said. "Each mark is a testament to the life lived, to the contributions made, and the lessons learned," the Buddha taught. "Do not lament the marks upon your spirit. They are the carvings of wisdom that shape your purpose anew," he said. "Like the river, your essence flows beyond the judgments of failure or success," Buddha said, his voice unwavering. The disciples murmured softly, their hearts touched by the poetic simplicity of Buddha's teaching, their eyes fixed on him. "Age does not strip worth. It deepens it, allowing your essence to become a light for others," the Buddha explained. "Consider the tree that no longer grows taller but casts a shadow that shelters and nurtures those below," he said. "The shadow of wisdom, gained through time, offers peace to those in the heat of life's struggles," the Buddha shared. "In retirement, you become the shelter, offering guidance and compassion that can shape lives as the chisel-shaped wood," he said. Chanda nodded, his heart finding solace in the idea that his wisdom could continue to influence and inspire others. The Buddha placed the chisel gently upon the ground, allowing its presence to remind the disciples of transformation and purpose. Do not fear the stillness of retirement. It is the space where your teachings and reflections find fertile ground, he said. Your story, like this tool, is not finished but awaits new hands to carry its lessons forward, the Buddha taught. Chanda smiled, feeling a spark of inspiration reignite within him. Eager to share his craft with the next generation, the disciples pondered the lesson, seeing in their own lives the parallel truths of transformation and wisdom beyond physical action. Ananda, the Buddha said, turning to his faithful disciple, "What do you see in the worn chisel before us?" Ananda studied the tool, seeing its marks and wear as signs of enduring value and quiet strength. "I see a tool that holds history, knowledge, and inspiration, even though its original function has changed," Ananda replied. "Precisely," the Buddha said, his voice calm and steady. "For the value of life is not defined by fleeting abilities. The purpose of each phase is to nurture the next, like the roots of the lotus nourishing future blooms," he said. Retirement allows your spirit to become a root, unseen but vital in sustaining those who seek your wisdom, the Buddha explained. The shadow you cast, like the banyan tree, offers cool refuge and guidance for those walking beneath it, he said. Chanda bowed deeply, tears filling his eyes as gratitude washed over him for the clarity the Buddha's words had brought. "Blessed One, I now see that my purpose is not lost but transformed, awaiting its unfolding in new ways," Chanda said. The Buddha smiled, his presence radiating peace and assurance to all gathered under the Bodhi tree. The carpenter departed, his heart lighter and his mind filled with possibilities for sharing the wisdom of his craft. The disciples remained seated, reflecting on their own lives and the ways in which transformation had shaped their journeys. The sun continued its ascent, casting light and warmth over the monastery, infusing each heart with renewed understanding. The worn chisel lay upon the ground, silent but resonant with the truth it had come to symbolize for all. The Buddha rose, his robes flowing softly in the breeze, leaving his disciples to ponder the lesson given that day. As the day unfolded, the monastery carried the vibrations of the lesson, as if the chisel itself whispered the Buddha's truths. Retirement, the Buddha had taught, was not the end but a beginning of shared wisdom, purpose, and inspiration for others. The lesson of the worn chisel remained in the hearts of the disciples, guiding them toward peace and transformation. Ananda reflected upon the Buddha's words, finding strength in the image of the shadow cast by the banyan tree. The Buddha's steps were quiet yet resolute, as his teachings carried ripples of wisdom far beyond the monastery's grounds. The chisel remained untouched, a reminder that value is not diminished by change but enriched by deeper meaning and purpose. Each disciple walked away with the image of the chisel, feeling the profound possibilities of wisdom within transformation and stillness. Another day, as evening settled, the Buddha led his disciples to an ancient banyan tree whose shadow stretched across the land. The disciples sat in quiet anticipation, watching the tree's broad canopy sheltering travelers and creatures alike beneath its embrace. The Buddha stood, his robe flowing gently, and said, "Look at this tree, whose shadow offers refuge to those passing by." Ananda gazed at the tree, admiring its ancient roots, sprawling branches, and the deep stillness held within its presence. "Ananda," the Buddha continued, "this tree no longer grows taller, yet its shade nurtures and protects life beneath its vast canopy. Life in retirement is much like this tree, which ceases outward growth but deepens in its offering to the world," he explained. Many fear this stage, believing that stillness is an end rather than a source of quiet renewal and transformation, the Buddha said. He touched the bark of the tree, its texture rough yet grounding, and said, What appears still is often profoundly alive. The roots of this tree are unseen, yet they anchor it, sustaining all who take shelter beneath its shadow, he explained. In retirement, one's accumulated wisdom becomes the roots, unseen but vital, nurturing those who seek guidance and solace, the Buddha said. The disciples listened, their hearts opening to the truth that wisdom and stillness could hold profound meaning and impact. Do you see the creatures resting beneath this shadow? The travelers finding comfort and the birds nesting within its branches? He asked. The disciples nodded, observing the harmony of life supported by the silent, enduring presence of the banyan tree. The shadow of this tree extends beyond its form, touching lives and spaces far from the roots that anchor it, he said. So too must you. In retirement, extend your wisdom as a shadow that offers peace and purpose to others, the Buddha advised. He walked beneath the tree's canopy, his steps deliberate, his presence like the calm shelter the tree provided. Ananda, he said, do you fear the stillness that follows a life of action and outward achievements? Ananda paused, reflecting deeply, and replied, Blessed One, I have wondered if this stage of life carries value beyond its quietness. The Buddha smiled, his eyes radiating compassion, and said, Stillness holds depth unseen, allowing wisdom to flow where action cannot. Consider the tree's shadow, which is not an absence of light but a presence of cool refuge and gentle strength, he explained. Your years of experience are the roots that anchor you, enabling your wisdom to cast a shadow upon those seeking guidance, he said. The stillness of retirement is not lifeless but holds the power to nurture and transform lives in quiet, profound ways, he said. The disciples bowed their heads, feeling the peace of the Buddha's words settle into their minds and hearts. The Buddha sat beneath the banyan tree, his presence blending with the calmness and resilience of the shadow it cast. In every stage, life provides opportunities to serve, reflect, and offer solace. Even when outward growth has ceased, the Buddha said, do not fear the stillness. It is the space where your shadow deepens and your wisdom resonates more profoundly, he shared. Let your shadow, like this tree's, touch all who pass by, offering peace, compassion, and shelter in life's storms, he said. The disciples remained seated, their minds reflecting the depth of stillness and its quiet power to transform and nurture others. The evening light softened, casting long shadows across the land, mingling with the truths shared beneath the banyan tree's canopy. The Buddha's words carried ripples of insight, touching the hearts of all gathered and extending beyond the monastery's quiet grounds. The banyan tree stood, silent but resonant, a reminder that life's purpose continues even when outward motion slows. The disciples walked away with the image of the tree's shadow, feeling the profound possibilities held within stillness and wisdom. Ananda found peace in the image of the shadow, carrying it as a symbol of life's subtle power and renewal. The Buddha rose, his steps quiet yet purposeful, leaving his disciples to ponder the lessons beneath the vast banyan canopy. Retirement, the Buddha had taught, was not the end but a beginning of wisdom shared, purpose renewed, and lives transformed. The shadow of the banyan tree remained, touching all who passed beneath it. As the Buddha's words touched each disciple's heart, each disciple carried the teachings forward, their lives enriched by the profound truths of stillness, wisdom, and quiet renewal. The evening unfolded, serene and harmonious, as the monastery resonated with the lesson imparted by the Buddha that day. The banyan tree stood tall, its shadow a living symbol of the enduring power of wisdom and compassion in stillness. The ripple of the Buddha's teachings continued to extend, touching lives far beyond the moment and the space they were given. The shadow beneath the banyan tree became a sanctuary, carrying the peace and purpose born of transformation and reflection. The disciples carried the lesson, their hearts inspired to let their own wisdom cast shadows that nurtured and guided others. The Buddha's steps were quiet yet resolute, his presence radiating the truth that life's purpose unfolds even in its stillest moments. Each disciple walked away with the image of the banyan tree, feeling the profound possibilities of renewal within life's quiet phases. The shadow remained, untouched but vivid, holding within it the truths that the Buddha had spoken beneath its sheltering canopy. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.